one of the things that we're offering this year for our greenhouses is the option to use cable trusses. This is 3/8 inch cable. It's fairly inexpensive at about 20 cents a linear foot. And it has a test load of about 3,700 pounds. So I wanted to show you really quick how to mount these. This is a ferrule. It's an aluminum ferrule that's used to crimp your hoops, things like that. So let me show you how this slides on. What you do, you put this onto your cable, and if you're making an eye, let me just show you how that works. What you do is you'd go back on the other side like this. So what you have here is a loop with this aluminum crimping ferrule holding it together. These are crimpers. They cost about $80 or so. You're going to need to buy one if you're going to do cable trussing on your greenhouse hoops. But if you take that, just put it in the middle. This happens to be the 3/16 setting at the bottom here. And just go ahead and crimp down on that. I like to do 2 crimps when I do this to give it a little bit of extra strength. Now that aluminum crimps down, it becomes a very strong connection. You're not going to be able to slide that. It gives a very good friction resistance to it. If I'm doing a truss using cables, I'll use a turnbuckle like this. The problem is it adds an additional $10. And the benefit of using the cable on your trusses is you're eliminating the tubes. It costs about $80 difference using the cable versus the normal tube trussing. But let me show you a way that we can do it just using either a come-along or a ratchet strap. So a choker hitch is when you wrap it and it turns on itself. So let me show you that really quick. That allows it to cinch up really tight. Go ahead and cut your new cable with an eye on it, and we'll make a choker hitch on this side. So I'll just take it up, the same thing that was done before. So just grab some of your ferrule crimps, the aluminum ones. I like putting a couple. It gives a better friction fit. Put them in here just as follows. This is the piece that you just saw cut. Got to make sure it's a clean cut. One thing I noticed is your crimping tool over time, the bolt at the joint, over time it kind of loosens up. So if you're having a tough time cutting a clean cut, you might check that and make sure it looks good. It's pretty easy to tighten up. So then on the other side, just go ahead and pull through or put it through. And it kind of helps if you twist a little bit sometimes to get through. You probably could just use one, but honestly, they're so cheap. You might as well just use a couple to make sure it's strong. Now these are sacrificial. You're going to put some loops on it just so you can put some ratchet straps or come-alongs, whatever, to pull it tight. The reason I'm doing that, they're sacrificial. You're going to throw it away when you're done. But it just saves a lot of money in terms of buying a turnbuckle. Typically the turnbuckles just aren't rated for much stress. So if you do this, it saves you a lot of money. Okay, do the same thing on the other side, then we'll crimp these, okay? So just got an eye there. We're going to pull these tight and cut these off so it doesn't matter if you leave a tail or not. But just kind of put it there in the middle as shown before and just pull it tight. So I'm going to use a ratchet strap just to hook onto this and pull it over, pull it tight. Now the one thing you'll notice that I made a mistake on was this tail here. Didn't have to be so long. I threw away too much of this just because I eyeballed it. Probably want to measure to be a little bit more accurate. So I'm going to cut some of this off, make an eye on it, and that way we can go ahead and pull that tight. If you're doing one of the greenhouses we produce at catchsunlight.com, I'd recommend just doing a 500 roll of cable because you only need probably 200 or 300 feet. But it's just nice once you get used to doing this to have your own cable making setup. Just going to tighten this guy up. Now, as you can see, I'm pulling that guy tight. It's plenty strong. What'll happen is when the snow pushes down on top, it'll push the hoops out. That'll become tight. So you don't need to go crazy tight on this. There'll be a little bend here and there, so it really isn't a big deal. So with that, it's plenty tight. You could always go more, but you know, you're not buying much with it. What you'll find when you're doing your greenhouses, if you pull all of them too tight, it'll actually just pull your greenhouse in. So there's no reason to make it overly tight. Set that right between the crimp and go ahead and crimp on down. I like putting two of the crimps per crimp ring just to make it extra strong. It gives ample strength to resist the maximum force. So that's it. Let's go ahead and take this off and cut it up. So as you can see, it's solid, works great. Here's my old ones. They're just as tight with the turnbuckles, but you're saving yourself, you know, it's first off, it's stronger, but you're also saving a good 12 bucks per unit. The reality is, if you wanted to go something beefier, 1/4 inch looks pretty good. You could always go bigger, but you're gonna more than double your cost with 1/4 inch versus 3/16. So when you're building your greenhouse, if you decide to use cable trusses, remember all the force is on that horizontal member. You don't need full trussing. You just don't need it for standard greenhouses. The arc distributes the compressive force very well. Appreciate you watching this. Thanks for your time and have a great day.